It is a Friday night in Central Arkansas, and therefore it means another wet night. You can see the rain falling at John McConnell Stadium. It's Jeff Matthews and Jim Files as we are getting set for the opening kickoff here. We had a chance to talk to Coach Ashcraft yesterday. We're going to go ahead and we thank Crane Automotive Group for that, but we're not going to be able to play it right now. We've had surprise. This isn't a surprise. More issues tonight with the weather, and if you were at the game Friday night, then you know that. And so we are going to get started just a little bit quicker here than we had planned. So they're about to kick the football off. I'm Jeff. That's Jim. Jim, we're about ready to go to play some football.
Hoping to finish a game this week for the first time this season. You know, and in a lot of ways, this game is like the first game of the season. We barely got through the half at Bryant, and then last week's Jonesboro washout with about 5 minutes played in the first period. We're hoping for a game. These players can get some practice before conference starts.
Kyle Edgar kicks off for the Cabot Panthers. It's Cabot and Conway in Week 3, a non-conference game, and we are ready to go. The opening kickoff, nice return to the 34-yard line. That is Brandon Cox, and the Wampus Cats ready to go on what, again, is a very, very wet field. It's this synthetic turf, the Astro-type turf. It's not called that, but it's that type of surface that has been in place for a few years now. It drains very, very well. Unfortunately, the rain has lightened up a little bit, but it is still falling, and that can make that top layer of the surface really slick.
Yeah, it shouldn't make too much difference with as good as they make these fields now. They drain real well. Traction shouldn't be a huge issue, but like you said, you go to cut on this stuff, it's still got some a little slipperiness to it.
Jeff Anderson, he's got a strong run on the right side. He picks up about 12 yards. Crosses the 45 to the 46-yard line, enough for a first down. It'll be power running tonight on both sides of the football. We could be out of here in about an hour and a half if they aren't going to throw the ball a whole lot.
Well, and unlike last week, I think we've got the matchup advantage. Our offensive line against their defensive line, we should win that battle. Last week, Jonesboro was really big. You know, that was going to be a challenge. Tonight, we should have the advantage there.
Senior quarterback Cody Rhodes looks to the left. That's where Coach Ashcraft and Coach Brian Rainey are set up, giving the offensive plays in. A flag that comes in from the referee. It's, again, Jeff Anderson between the tackles and makes his way across midfield, but I think that will be coming back. And it is against the Wampus Cats, so that'll back them up.
You know, and the good news is that they haven't missed any practice time. But you know what the coaches love is to get that game film, to go through, grade out all the players, and make adjustments from that. And that's something they really hadn't. They got to do that a little bit after the Bryant game, but not the Jonesboro game. There wasn't much there on film to grade.
In the Crane Automotive Group pregame show where I had a chance to talk to Coach Ashcraft yesterday, he talked about they are not in game shape. Game tempo, game pacing is just different than anything you can do on the practice field. So this game is really important just for the purposes of getting to next week when conference play will begin in Russellville. First down and 15, 11:21 to go in the first quarter. We are just underway. Anderson again, right at the middle, right behind the center. And it'll be second down at about 13. Brandon Koch, Brighton Boer on the left, Blaine Joyner, Jagger Barnett, and Jalen Pearson over on the right. That very, very talented offensive line for the Wampus Cats.
And with the penalty, they put themselves in a hole here. Cody Rhodes may get a chance to put it in the air. And
second down and 12.
Brandon Cox in single coverage out left. Boy.
Yeah, he just used a hand gesture there.
Look to the left over there. No, handoff.
Handoff to Anderson again. Anderson running hard across midfield. It'll be third and short. Another 10-yard gain for Jeff Anderson. But, yeah, you could see Brandon Cox, and now he just peeled something off of his shoe. Very similar to what almost like a jockey. You know, they'll have different layers of goggles on, and there's a horse in front of him throwing up mud. There was something he peeled off the bottom of his shoes, almost like some traction tape or something. Third down and 3. Ball on the left side. Passing. Yep. Cody Rhodes will look to throw and does.
Short. Penalty.
There is a flag on the play.
Penalty in the background, usually holding. Oh, yeah.
And it is.
Badly underthrown ball by Cody Rhodes.
And that is what you're going to see is especially a quarterback that's not huge. I mean, Cody's about 5'10".
Yeah.
And so for him to be able to throw the ball it is going to slip a little bit sometimes. He's a catcher also on the baseball team, and so he's used to obviously handling a ball in a game where it would be not the best conditions.
Right, right, yeah.
Little slippery football.
And that is, it's a big issue for a quarterback when it's raining. And if you got a smaller hand, especially, it's hard to grip that football.
So it'll be 3rd down now. They'll back him up 10 more yards. So 3rd down and 14 officially. And it will be another passing play. Rhodes steps up in the pocket and throws.
High throw.
He had him, but a nice job defensively by number 33. That's Jacob Ferguson, a sophomore.
Koch is hurt.
Yeah, he hit him pretty hard. He's holding the left arm.
Not a bad throw, just a little bit high. And when you do that, and Koch is hurt.
He is very hurt.
You can see him.
Knocked over that chair.
And it looks like his left arm that he is in pain. And that guy's so hungry to play. We saw him last week when the game was delayed and eventually canceled. And in between that time, he was just ready to play. He said, I don't care if it's wet. I want to play. And I can play in the rain. But, the Lightning, you can't. And that's the second week in a row we've got that. They go into motion there legally, and it draws the defense off sides, or the special teams.
So 4th and 14 now, 4th and 9. Grant Ellis is deep to punt. Ellis, a 6-foot sophomore. 4th down and 9. 9:52 to play in the first quarter. We're just underway. First drive of the night for the Wampus Cats. And it will end in a punt. Line drive punt that lands at the 25 and takes a nice Conway bounce. And it will be set down at the 14-yard line, and that's where Cabot will have it, 1st and 10. He's talked, Coach Ashcraft, the I'm referring to, has talked a lot about the special teams. And he was Coach Ashcraft, the first man to get to Grant Ellis there as he came to the sideline. Special teams, the kicking game in particular with these two sophomores, are great weapons to have, and to have them now and moving forward. We'll keep an eye on Brandon Cox on the sideline. He was obviously hurt. You saw it clearly as he walked off the field, knocked over that chair, and was holding his left arm. All right, there's the Cabot formation that we've seen for years and years and years. The old dead T. A lot of misdirection. You'll watch who they hand it off to and try to take them down. That's what you're going to see a lot of tonight. That time it was number 34, Kyle Edgar, one of many Panthers that you will see tonight that will get the football.
Yeah, and you got to watch the guards if you're a defender. And, we've talked a lot about this defense and how well they played at Bryant, and we also mentioned there's only one returning starter. The guys that played for that defensive line before all had success against Cabot, and they had a lot of experience. And that's it's an offense you don't see much, and these guys have got to adjust to this. It is not easy, and all these guys are new on that defensive line. Wright has some experience, but for the rest of them, this is new, and it's going to take a little while to adjust to this dead T offense.
Cortez Akins on the defensive line, along with Jarrell Credit.
And those guys have played spectacular, and with their athleticism and strength, they've got the tools to be really successful. But a lot of it's just in your head and knowing what to expect in this misdirection offense.
2nd down and 6. You talked about the fact that they won't see this offense very much. It'll be the only time they see this offense all this year, unless we see Cabot in the playoffs. There's nobody else on the schedule that runs this kind of dead T or wing T offense. Zach Lanius, 5'6" junior, with the big carry that time, enough for a 1st down. And it will be 1st and 10 Cabot.
Zach with 2 touchdowns last week. A really big game for him. And this Cabot offense, they get in a rhythm, and it's trouble.
It's important for your secondary to tackle well.
Oh, my gosh, yeah. There was a safety that saved a touchdown right there for Conway. Yeah, when they get that far into the secondary, it's not good.
That time it's Edgar. The man we haven't seen so far with the carry is Max Carroll, who was their workhorse as far as yards go a week ago. He had 4 carries for 134 yards. they haven't put the football into the gut of number 15 yet.
And you know he will after the success he had last week, and a game that was also limited by weather.
Yeah, they played a half. We didn't play half. We played
No.
half of a quarter. They got one half in last week before they had to stop against Catholic, a game that they won 28-7. There will be a whistle. Back them up to the 41-yard line. 2nd down and 9. We'll call it 2nd and 10. These seniors for Conway have never lost to Cabot.
Yep.
Obviously, the seniors for Cabot have never beaten Conway.
Yeah.
Prior to that, it was 4 straight wins in the series for the Panthers.
You know,
Another flag.
And those seniors on that Cabot team, a lot of those guys were starting when they were sophomores.
That's right.
So you know that's one reason they're 2-0 right now. This offense and this system that Cabot has, you've got to have that experience, and this team has that. So it's something to watch out for. They don't have a lot of weapons and a lot of size, but they do have the practice time in this system.
They start running this system in the 7th grade. You can see an effect there of the slick football as the snap was made. Case and Kimbrell, their quarterback, fell on it. And Cabot's going the wrong direction, which is good for Wampus Cat fans.
Yeah, and it looked like the center guided up to him. He couldn't hold on to it. And and the quarterback in this offense is they don't get a lot of credit because they don't throw the ball a lot. But they have to do a lot of things. They have to make the decision to whether to pull it out, because they're putting the ball right into the hands of the running back, and they can pull it out and give it to another one.
Kavasia Tate, number 63, into the game for the Wampus Cats. There's that little end around. Great job to slow him down. Now you got to wrap him up. Zach Lanius again is who they went to. Austin Morgan there on the stop. Jarrell Credit. Good job by those guys. 4th down upcoming in the Wampus Cat defense. They bent quite a bit, actually, but they did not break.
Not only is the ball slippery, the players are slippery. Gerald Credit, had him, but he slipped through, but he slowed him down enough for the defenders to get to it. Good job by the defensive adjusting after Cabot had some success initially on that drive.
And good news for the Wampus Cats is Brandon Cox is back deep to return this punt. Last time we saw him, he was knocking over a chair because he had been injured on that incomplete pass. Looks fine now, and he's going to stay in the game. The Wampus Cats will have a lot of field to go as the ball will be down inside the 10-yard line. That's where the Cats will have it, their second offensive possession of the game. 6 minutes and 8 seconds to play. This is roughly where we were a week ago when they pulled everybody off the field. So we're already in a better place.
Conway at that point had -1 yards, and they didn't have a second possession, right?
No, they had just run the 3 plays.
Yeah, and that's where the coaches make a lot of adjustments based upon what the defense does on that first series. So this is where you look to see those adjustments being applied.
So 1st down and 10. Cody Rhodes will bring his offense on. He sets up in a little pistol formation where Jeff Anderson is right behind him. Handoff to Anderson. Good job by Anderson across the 15-yard line. Brought down by number 33, Jacob Ferguson.
Warwick with a good block, sealing that outside for Anderson.
This is a night that Anderson could easily get 25 or 30 carries.
Yep,
Going back at him again.
Yep. Yeah, he's going to get a lot of opportunities tonight.
To the 18-yard line. That'll be close to a 1st down. If they do what they did in Bryant, where they had Anderson run the entire first quarter, then we saw his backup come in. T.J. Ruth.
Oh, yeah, T.J. Ruth
came in the game.
He looked impressive.
And then we saw Brandon Cox back there.
And you'll see Brandon Cox back there some. Night like tonight, if you can't get him the ball through there, you're going to give it to him on the ground.
3rd and short. Rhodes will keep. Runs into a wall of white and red jerseys, but it's enough to move the chains as he crosses the 20-yard line. That's certainly an advantage that the Cats have, that big offensive line. They can put a guy like Rhodes behind him, get a yard or two, move the chains, keep the drive moving forward. 5:09 to play in the first quarter.
I like what I saw from Rhodes there. He just put his head down. There was no hesitation, and you can't do that on that play. You can't hesitate. You've got to pick a hole and go for it, and it's what he did, and he got us the 1st down. Flag
thrown by the line judge here. I think that you're going to say the Wampus Cats were lined up offsides. That is going to be Procedure penalty against the Wampus Cats. Back them up 5. Not surprisingly, a sloppy start to the game, really for both sides.
Yeah.
Cabot has played a game and a half. The Wampus Cats have played almost 4 quarters. They have now that they've played 7 minutes of this quarter, that we've officially played more than 4 quarters of football, but it took us 3 weeks to do it. Anderson, good run by Jeff Anderson to the 22-yard line. Stop made by Ian Thompson.
Plays both ways for them. Ian Thompson also a fullback in this offense.
Tim Boyd into the game, number 5. Fantastic athlete. Of course, we've seen him be the starting point guard for the Wampus Cat basketball team the last couple of years. And he goes out far to the right. Hand off again, little stutter step by Cox.
Yeah.
He reminds me of some of the great runners we've had here in the past. Isaiah Jackson comes to mind. The way that he would there's just a hesitation with him.
Yeah.
He knows he's faster than anybody else on the field.
Right.
So if he gets a little bit of space, that's all he needs.
Yeah, and just, patient. You saw him there. He was waiting to follow his blockers. If you've got that speed, it doesn't matter that much if you don't use it properly, and Brendan Cox has certainly learned how to do that very well.
3rd and 2, just under 4 minutes to go.
Correct.
Here's that rhino formation where Brandon Koch comes in the game from his offensive guard position. They call it the rhino, and it worked. They snapped the ball directly to Koch. He crosses the 35 out to the 40-yard line. First time the home crowd's had a chance to see that.
and you can see it can be pretty darn effective there. They stopped him, but then he just kept going with the power that he's got. He's hard to bring down.
1st and 10, 3:40 to play in the opening quarter. Clock's running. Back to Anderson. I'm sorry, that's Cox. Brandon Cox. There's that move. Flag comes in. Cox gets out to midfield, but we'll see if it's coming back.
Yeah, probably holding. But again, Cox very patient. Watch this. And I'm not sure why he didn't just use his speed to get outside there. Looked like he had an opportunity, but.
And that's the sort of thing, he'll see it in the tape.
But it's usually the great ones, though, that are willing to cut it up inside to get the big plays.
You mentioned it a couple of times. If there's anybody on this Wampus Cat team that's anxious to play a game, it feels like it's been Brandon Cox. It's his senior year.
Yeah.
He's played a lot since his sophomore year. Talented athlete. This is it. This is his senior year. You wait all spring, all summer, finally get to fall, and you're still kind of waiting for the season to start, and it's week 3. So for his senior year, you could tell that he was just anxious a week ago, and even the way he's played tonight, the emotion he's shown.
Yeah, and signing with committing to ASU, right. And that's he wants to prove, I'm worth that, Division I scholarship.
Back to Anderson now. Jeff Anderson to the 40-yard line. Thompson got him.
Anderson, the ball carrier.
You can just really tell with the difference in Anderson and Cox, even without seeing their numbers. Anderson 6'2", 208. Cox is 5'9", 160. That 40-pound difference on the frame really shows.
Yeah.
Anderson set up behind Cody Rhodes.
Jeff Anderson is definitely showing us a lot this year. Great power.
Giving it to him again. And good speed.
Yep.
Cuts it upfield. Jeff Anderson into the secondary. One man to beat in a slippery field.
Oh, yeah.
Get him inside the 10.
He could not get his feet back underneath him. You could tell he was probably not going to make it. But
great run.
If he could have got his feet underneath him, he lost it somewhere in here, and he just never got his balance back. There, see.
Yeah, like running on ice. Slip.
Yeah.
He'll be down at the 6-yard line. Great job. You can see it on the replay real clearly. Great job by our camera guys upstairs to show that he switched hands in mid-run, got the ball back into the other hand away from the defender. Inside the 5. 2nd down and goal.
Jeff Anderson showing good vision. That previous run, cutting it inside, picking up some huge yards. See if we see that rhino formation somewhere in here.
This would be where they would run it.
Yep, this is it.
Taking the snap is Brandon Koch. He'll get to do it from a yard and a half closer. Koch again, an all-state offensive lineman, is verbally committed to play college football at OBU. And it's
a special athlete when you've got that size and that speed.
Yeah, he's 6'1", 260. That's 260 pounds running behind that huge offensive line. Koch down inside the 2. It'll be 3rd down and goal.
He's big, but you still have to block for him a little bit there. He got hit before he got to the line of scrimmage.
They'll stay with it again. No chance for Cabot to make any substitutions. Koch. There he goes.
Yep, I'd love to do it.
Brandon Koch, is he in? There he is. Brandon Koch into the end zone from a yard out. And the Wampus Cats take a 6-0 lead.
Very impressive. And a little better job of blocking there. You can see the push up front. And Koch is able to get in.
Extra point on the way. Matt Cummins will kick it.
And that's that second series we were talking about. And,
right.
and that's what the results that you see. That brilliant coaching staff of the Wampus Cats.
Extra point is good, and the Wampus Cats take a 7-0 lead. 1:18 to play in the opening quarter. We'll take a 30-second break, and we're back on Conway Corporation, Channel 5 Sports.
1:18 left in the first quarter. Conway 7, Cabot
Nobody
0.
saves you more than the Giant.
No, you're fine. We don't have a computer, so I've got to do this
That's
myself.
right. We're stacking them deep and selling them cheap. Shop a huge selection of new Buick and GMCs like the Sierra, Acadia, Terrain, Toronto, and more. And keep your money in your pocket when you buy with 0 down, 0% financing, and pay 0 sales tax. Plus, Buick Torontos start for just $19,995. Come stack the zeros with 0 down, 0% financing, and 0 sales tax. Only at the Giant Crane Buick GMC exit 127 in Conway.
To play in the opening quarter, 1:18 to play in the opening quarter, and the Wampus Cats take a 7-0 lead on the 1-yard touchdown run by Brandon Koch.
Yeah, and weather like this, you've got to expect the game was going to be won on the ground. Anderson already with 102 yards. And a very, very impressive second drive for the Wampus Cats. Let's see how that defense adjusts to Cabot's adjustments now. They certainly looked like they were getting better and better as they went along there. Nice long drive for the Wampus Cats, though, and overcame a couple of penalties, too, on that drive.
And the kickoff to Cabot. They will have the ball out to the 30-yard line. We mentioned as we started the game tonight that we had to get a little late start, so we weren't able to play the Crane Automotive Group Coach's show because of limitations due to the weather. We also have a little bit of a different angle on our cameras. I don't know if you can tell entirely or not, but our camera guys upstairs, AJ and Lee, are exposed to the elements while we're in a warm, dry booth. They are exposed to the elements up there and actually have the cameras in a little different spot. So a little different look tonight, and we appreciate your patience as we broadcast the game. Conway versus Cabot. With Conway taking a lead, looked like there might have been a loose ball there. Cabot will keep possession of it. Yep, still Cabot football. Under a minute to play in the opening quarter. 7-0. Conway's got the lead. 2nd down and 9. First time in a long time that this is not a conference game with the movement that happened with the AAA, the 7A, 6A, and all of that there in the last cycle. Cabot has actually moved east, so they're part of the 7A, 6A East now. A power running across to the 40-yard line, not across the 40-yard line, but right to it. That will be short of a first down. Cabot and Bryant both moving different directions in the new order of the AAA. And what that means is those longtime rivals are now non-conference games. Teams like North Little Rock and Little Rock Central gone from the schedule altogether unless they were to be opponents in the playoffs. That's Paul Revis, I believe, is at 35.
Football is marked at the 40-yard line. Yep. 3rd down and a yard.
Yeah, once injured, unable to play last week, even though the game we didn't play much of it anyway, but Paul Revis injured last week and looks to be being helped off the sideline there.
Yeah, it's his ankle. He just pointed to it. Oh, wow.
And again, that safety that stepped up and did exactly as the name would suggest. playing the role of safety. I believe it was A.J. Burton that made the stop.
That's a touchdown saving tackle there.
Yep, watch this.
Dooley.
Once again, that was Zach Lanius launched into the air and onto the turf, and he's going to be down at the 48-yard line. We will take a 60-second timeout and come back with the second quarter next on Conway Corporation, Channel 5 Sports.
Hello, I'm Jim Counts, owner of Legacy Fencing. Summer is over and cooler weather has finally arrived. Now's the time to get busy on those home improvement projects that add both function and aesthetic appeal to your property while increasing its value. Whether it's simple as staining your existing wood fence or installing railing, we can provide a quality product, workmanship, and service that sets us apart from our competitors. Call us now and you'll see why our customers keep coming back. Legacy Fencing, it's fencing for a lifetime.
All right, as we get ready to begin the second quarter, rain still falling here at John McConnell Stadium. And the Wampus Cats on defense, 1st and 10 for Cabot. That's Edgar. Boy, they're just running all over that right side. Going to be enough for a first down again. Move the chains.
Just a pile of bodies there. Good blocking by Cabot.
Kyle Edgar. And once again, we have not seen Max Carroll, number 15. Just underway in the second quarter. Cats up 7-0. Now, a lot of people have asked us about last week and what happened. Was that a loss for the Wampus Cats since they were losing 6-0? That is not the case. It was ruled a no contest. And so both Jonesboro and Conway left that game 1-0. So Conway's officially 1-0. Cabot comes in 2-0 because they were given credit for a victory, even though their game didn't even make it to halftime. Yeah. They were winning 28-7, so they got credit for a win. A lot of kind of weird things that have to be worked out to get some uniformity in that, but Cats officially 1-0.
Kind of like a sale auction.
That's how it feels. Well, I'll tell you what, if you'll come back here, they just decided to call it no contest, which was the right choice.
Well, come back.
And one of the things that Coach Ashcraft and I talked about yesterday during the Crane Automotive pregame show was that last Saturday was also an ACT day. And so that was another thing. A number of the kids were playing or were doing the ACT the next morning. And so that added to the decision-making of whether or not to keep everybody here too much later. Second down and 4. That looks like it's going to be enough for a first down.
Stop made by Landon Hood.
Landon Hood
30-yard line.
in on the stop. See Atkins there. Marcus Wright.
Yeah, Wright with a big tackle earlier. Going to have a big role tonight.
And this is one of those nights where, the Wampus Cats usually have 3 down linemen, 4 linebackers, and 4 players in the secondary for their 11 guys. But that isn't necessarily the case with this offense that Cabot runs. They'll usually put another guy with his hand down, and that has been the case tonight. They get a couple of yards. Credit coming off the pile.
By Chris Henry.
Ball at the 26-yard line.
Stop made by Joe. And Landon Hood, second down 7 at the 26-yard line.
10 minutes to play in the first half. Conway up 7-0. The formation here it's called the Dead T, and it's what Coach Malham has coached there for 251 wins so far at his career at Cabot.
Amazing, yeah. Wow, maybe a fumble.
Yep,
ball
the ball
looks
is
like
loose.
It's loose. Conway
both teams saying they've got it. Let's see who. That's going to be third down. So Cabot retains possession. There have been no turnovers yet. There have been a few that have hit the ground, but the offensive team has held on to it each time.
And it's the second drive in a row that Cabot had some initial success, and then Conway started tightening it down. Big down here, 3rd and 7. Keep your eye on that tight end for Cabot. This is kind of where they'll throw that play.
Yep.
where the tight end goes downfield and nobody covers him because they're all expecting to run every down. And they'll get another run.
They will get another run, and a great job by the defensive line, providing pressure on Edgar, led by Marcus Wright.
Yep.
4th down.
By Marcus Wright.
The ball pretty deep in Conway territory, so Malham has a decision to make here.
4th down and 3.
To give you an idea of how long Mike Malham has been at Cabot, Kenny Smith coached on his staff for a while.
Right.
Back when he first started coaching. Coach Smith, of course, the long tenure here at Conway before when Ashcraft took over. Coach Ashcraft now in his 4th year.
Wow.
8.5 minutes to play in the second quarter. 4th down. Of course, they'll go for it. There's
that
pass.
tight end. Oh, and he dropped it.
And he had the 6 points on his fingertips.
Yep.
That's a defensive back whose eyes got really big because he had gotten beat.
Yeah.
But it's going to work out for the Cats as it'll be 1st and 10 for Conway.
Got a break there.
Passes incomplete. The ball goes over.
8:26 to go. Conway takes over. 1st and 10.
Wampus at the 23.
Cabot's offense, whether they're running the ball or passing the ball, all about misdirection. And that one pass that they've had, a lot of misdirection in that. No misdirection in what Conway's doing. They're just power running the ball over the right side. That is Jeff Anderson. Anderson, enough for a 1st down, move the chains. That pulling guard there. Boer coming over 2. Finding somebody in a red helmet to hit. 1st down and 10. No huddle offense. As soon as they blow the whistle, Conway ready to go. Same play. Anderson to the 37-yard line.
Stopped by Jake Vaughn.
Play kind of slow developing there. Anderson found a little bit of room, but not much.
We talked earlier about how tonight's liable to go really quick because Cabot always plays quick games. And with Conway, probably with this weather, going to run the ball as often as they can. We won't see the clock stopping just a whole lot.
Brandon Cox in the backfield now.
Anderson to the sideline.
And he needs a break every once in a while. And if you can do that, keep that back fresh, especially your workhorse like Anderson is.
That'll be Cox to the 40. 3rd down upcoming.
The only problem is every time Anderson's in the backfield, they are really keying on him. Look for the pass at some point, but usually when Cox is in the backfield, they get him the ball.
One of the guys leading the way out there for Conway was talented tight end Slater Smith. Slater, a leader on this team. Number 16 plays tight end for these Wampus Cats. He's set up on the near side. Back to Anderson. Anderson, enough for the 1st down. Close to midfield. They'll move the chains for the Cats. 1st and 10.
Look at the big hole on that right side there. Great blocking. Anderson getting past the linebackers into the secondary before he's tackled or touched.
I mentioned earlier Jagger Barnett. I do believe I see Danny Thomas out there at the right guard position. Keep an eye on Barnett, see if he's in the game later. That's Anderson trying that left side behind Boer and Koch, and there is room to run over there. 2nd down upcoming.
Ferguson made the tackle inside the 45 at the 44-yard line. 2nd down.
Strength of this team coming into the season was the offensive line. We knew that they'd be good. They haven't done a thing that's made us be disappointed in their performance.
Yeah, no question about it. That is the strength of this team.
Anderson again. Tried to go up high, wasn't able to do anything with it. Tackle made by Matt Griffin. Showing some nice sportsmanship, helping Anderson up.
And as much success as we're having on the ground, if you've got Brandon Cox in single coverage out there, you can't ignore that.
Something to watch for. Anytime you see 77 come in the game, that is Spencer Moore. That probably means you're going to see this rhino formation.
Yep.
And that's what it is. 3rd down and short. Snap the ball to Koch. He just puts his head down and powers his way forward. Enough for the 1st down. I don't know if anybody, we got a pretty creative student section. I don't know if they've capitalized on this whole rhino thing yet. But there's definitely some T-shirt possibilities in that.
Pretty creative. Those guys are creative geniuses
That's-
down there. I
I
love our students.
And they'd be the first to tell you.
Yeah, that's right.
5:49 to play in the first half. Cats lead 7-0 over longtime rival Cabot. Last non-conference game of the year. Next week, it's Russellville to open the conference season. That's Brandon Cox. Looked like the ball came loose.
Brandon Cox carried the football.
Yeah. Cox has got it.
Down to the 35. Yeah, I think he does.
He was down and had it. I don't think there's any question about it.
At the 35-yard line.
Boy, his arm, he's holding that arm again. That's not good.
He's staying in
so
the game.
Tough. Good grief. That guy is a football player. He is so tough.
See Sidney Moore go out to the far side, number 6. Anderson again. Oh, he's got some great moves. Crosses the 30-yard line. Even on a slick surface like this is, just for him to be able to put the foot down, the right foot, and plant, and readjust where he's going, enough to move the chains. 1st and 10 for the Wampus Cats.
First down, Wampus Cats.
First down and 10 inside the 30. They had not a successful drive the first time out, but they had a chance to see what Cabot was going to do.
Yeah.
This is their 3rd drive of the night. Their 2nd drive resulted in a long touchdown drive. In fact, 95 yards they went.
Inside the 25. It's going to be 2nd down. Outside the 25. 2nd down.
3 weeks in a row. Then on Friday night we've dealt with rain. The difference tonight is that there is no lightning. There's no.
Right.
That's not part of the severe weather's not a part of it. Rain was a part of the forecast, and it has forecasted to be true.
And those guys can play in rain, and they're certainly showing it.
Yeah.
It's not slowing those big guys down in the trenches, that's for sure. And the big guy behind Cody Rhodes.
That's the guy you're talking about. It's Jeff Anderson.
Yep.
Inside the 20, just powering over people.
Carried inside the 20 to
Jeff
the
Anderson
19.
having a huge night.
And again, able to do so behind the offensive line.
Well over 100 yards.
Down and a yard.
He was at 100 yards in the first period. Conway with 126 total yards. Cabot not too badly either, 74 for them at the end of the first period.
3rd down and short. They're going to call a timeout. Cabot wants to talk about it before Brandon Koch runs the Rhino formation again. 30-second break, and we're back on Conway Corporation, Channel 5 Sports.
This is my home. And here's my hot water heater, located right above my living room. And here's the mess it made when it leaked. Really leaked. Kind of throws off the ambiance, don't you think? Well, I stayed calm and called the experts at All Clean Restoration. So here it is, my living room before the water damage and my living room after. Or as I like to think, my living room before All Clean, my living room after All Clean. All Clean Restoration, proudly serving all of Arkansas.
Of the wind, we catch us talking about the weather. It's like a couple of old guys sitting here
what else
talking
would we talk about on Friday night?
That's the way it seemed. I saw a really funny tweet from one of the Conway coaches last week that said, thanks to high school football for ending the drought in Arkansas, because we have needed the rain, but my goodness, now 3 Friday nights in a row with just a ton of rain. At least wherever we've been. I know that not all the states had it, but in Bryant and Conway over 3 consecutive Friday nights. 3:40 to go in the first half. That's Brandon Koch running that formation again. You know, a lot of teams call it the Wildcat. It kind of started with that. The Razorbacks ran it as the Wild Hog, and every team has a name for it, and it's called the Rhino with the Wampus Cats and with Brandon Koch taking the snap.
Darren McFadden wasn't that big, though.
No.
Koch is it's fun to watch that formation.
So it's 1st and 10 at the 17-yard line. Cody Rhodes back in, and he'll give it to the workhorse, Jeff Anderson. Just pounding forward inside the 15. You know, this is something that we have seen Coach Ashcraft do in the past, is that, you know, he's never shown all of his cards in the first 3 games anyway.
Right.
You know, as far as these non-conference games, you're just looking to get better, really trying to keep people healthy, preparing for that 7-game conference season, and that's where your seeding comes in as far as the state playoffs go, and that's how you try to win a state tournament or a state championship, which the Cats haven't done since 1967. Looking at that stat earlier today, really surprised me that it had been that long since the Cats have won a football state championship. They are certainly focused on getting there again. Jeff Anderson knocked down by Griffin, Matt Griffin, 5'9" senior, making a good stop. Would be one of the few negative plays that the Cats have had.
And you're right. It has been pretty vanilla, pretty straightforward from the limited time that we've seen them play. And if they've got a passing game, we really haven't seen that yet. Regardless, of whether you're trying to, hold your cards or not, you need to show some kind of passing game, and this would certainly be a good down to do it. But it goes instead to Brendan Cox.
On 3rd down and 10, flag comes in after the tackle, made it to the 15-yard line. So 4th and 8 upcoming, and we'll see what the flag is. Matt Griffin lost his helmet, handed back to him by Koch.
That's on Conway, it looks like.
Denton McDonald is the
holding.
Denton McDonald, the referee, makes the call. And that will back them up.
Unless they're declining it.
It looks like they may. Coach Malham will make them play 4th down.
Yeah, it's still a long ways to go. And be an interesting decision here. I expect to see a field goal attempt.
Matt Cummins is talented kicker.
Yeah.
Just a sophomore,
but
do they call him Thunderfoot? I think is the nickname the coach has given him.
He is not coming on the field.
Yeah, they're going to leave Thunderfoot on the sideline here.
Interesting call.
2 minutes to play. 2 minutes to play in the first half.
Yeah. It'll be interesting to see how this goes. It's certainly in Cummins' range.
And the referee ran over to the sideline and looked at Coach Ashcraft. And I think Coach told him, I'm going to call a timeout when it gets down to 1 second. And that's what it is. They're going to take a timeout here and then reevaluate their decision. Minute 37 to play in the first half. Cats up by 7. 4th down coming up. 30-second break, and we're back on Conway Corporation, Channel 5 Sports.
Nobody saves you more than the giant Crane Buick GMC in Conway.
That's right, we're stacking them deep and selling them cheap. Shop a huge selection of new Buick and GMCs like the Sierra, Acadia, Terrain, Verano, and more, and keep your money in your pocket when you buy with 0 down, 0% financing, and pay 0 sales tax. Plus, Buick Veranos start for just $19,995. Come stack the zeros with 0 down, 0% financing, and 0 sales tax, only at the giant Crane Buick GMC exit 127 in Conway.
A minute 37 to play in the first half, and the Wampus Cats will send the aforementioned Thunderfoot. Matt Cummins is a sophomore, and he will attempt a field goal. It'll be a 32-yard field goal attempt. Caleb Crawley will put the ball down.
And I think that's the right call to make. If you got a chance to score, you've got a good kicker, it's in his range, kick it. You've already got the lead. Let's make it a 2-score game here.
Snap and hold are good. Wow. Yep. That's why they call him Thunderfoot.
Yep.
A 32-yard field goal by Matt Cummins extends the lead to 10-0 for the Wampus Cats. We'll take another 30-second break and be back on Conway Corporation, Channel 5 Sports.
Hello, I'm Jim Counts, owner of Legacy Fencing. Summer is over and cooler weather has finally arrived. Now's the time to get busy on those home improvement projects that add both function and aesthetic appeal to your property while increasing its value. Whether it's simple as staining your existing wood fence or installing railing, we can provide a quality product, workmanship, and service that sets us apart from our competitors. Call us now and you'll see why our customers keep coming back. Legacy Fencing, it's fencing for a lifetime.
And the Wampus Cats extend the lead to 10-0 following the 32-yard field goal by Matt Cummins.
White Chevrolet Trailblazer 706 REX, your lights are on.
And he will handle the kickoff duties here with a minute and a half to go. We will have halftime for you, and to be honest, I don't know what's going to happen at halftime. I didn't see the band march in. I don't see them over there, and as busy as we've been, I haven't really looked to see if they've been in their place, so I don't know if we're going to have a halftime show at all tonight. This will be 3 straight weeks that they haven't had a chance to perform. Kickoff return to the 23-yard line. Lots of extracurricular a lot of extracurricular activity on the sideline as well. And so it will be Cabot football 1st and 10. At halftime, we will be able to play for you the Coach's Show, brought to you by Crane Automotive Group. I have a chance to listen to the conversation I had yesterday with Coach Ashcraft, and what we talked about had a lot to do with how strange this first 2 weeks have been, and not knowing that this was going to happen or not. I know the last thing he told me was, we just need to play. We're just ready to play 4 quarters. So I know they're glad to be able to play that, and we'll be glad to be able to air that for you at halftime of tonight's game. What a huge hit.
It's close to being out of bounds, and I didn't see no flags, though.
Watch this. Big hit. No, he was right on the sideline. That's an absolutely legal hit by Jackson Smith.
Yeah.
And he laid Zach Lanius out. 1st and 10 with 1:22 to go.
Jackson Smith with some big hits tonight. Good awareness, because you definitely don't want to do that if he's another foot over.
Same thing. Smith held up that time. You could tell that he was aware, very much aware of that potential penalty. 1:16 to go. The clock stops as he goes out of bounds.
6-yard gain, 7-yard gain to the 46-yard line. Second down, 7. Or second down and 3. Plus. 7.
At the 46-yard line. Quick pass play. That time it's complete. Got to wrap him up. Going to be enough for a first down. The catch was made by number 32. That's Chris Henry. Their quarterback, Casey Kimbrell, the 5'10 junior, slung it over there left-handed.
You know, they don't pass it much, and they'll lull you to sleep. When they do pass it, it is almost always effective. And the 2 we've seen, one should have been a touchdown, and then you got that one.
Lanius cuts it upfield. Runs along the hash marks there, and be a timeout called by Cabot. They want to stop it. 1:01 to play in the first half. Cats lead 10-0. 30-second break, and we're back on Conway Corporation, Channel 5 Sports.
This is my home. And here's my hot water heater, located right above my living room. And here's the mess it made when it leaked. Really leaked. Kind of throws off the ambiance, don't you think? Well, I stayed calm and called the experts at All Clean Restoration. So here it is, my living room before the water damage and my living room after. Or as I like to think, my living room before All Clean, my living room after All Clean. All Clean Restoration, proudly serving all of Arkansas.
Wampus Cat defense there, gathered around the coaching staff. 1:01 to play. And, Jim, we talked about the Cats defense against Bryant, the great game that they played there, just giving up the 3 points in the 3 quarters they played. Now, last week they did give up a touchdown drive to Jonesboro, but now tonight through the first half they've looked good.
They have, you know, and they bend a little bit at first, and then on the drives that we've seen tonight, they tighten up and shut them down. Got to keep your eye out for that pass, though. They will throw that in, and it's got them a first down already in this drive.
They'll send 2 wideouts to the near side.
Cabot with 6 first downs in the game thus far. Conway with 8.
Same pass play. Devin Dooley did a great job of reading it. Number 15, Devin Dooley. He read the quarterback's eyes from the start there. Watch this. He stepped right in the way. Just enough contact to knock the ball loose from Russ Rankin.
Yeah, and the wide receiver did a good job of putting his body in between him and the defender, but he was able to get in there and knock it free anyway. A great play by Dooley.
3rd down and 5, just under a minute to go in the first half. Hand the ball off to Lanius, and he will make a beeline for the sideline.
Close to a first down.
4th and short or 1st and 10.
Can't really tell from here. It's all the way across the field.
52.4 seconds to go in the first half.
Even the officials trying to figure it out.
I know both sides anxious to get into some dry conditions and
they're going to measure,
wring out the jerseys and get ready to come back out in the second half. Cabot beat Jacksonville 28-0 in their opening game.
Short.
And again last week over Catholic 28-7, a rain-shortened game. Now losing 10-0 tonight to your Wampus Cats. It will be short.
But and if they don't get it here, they'll go for it again. This may be the down where you watch that tight end as well.
Yeah, exactly. This would be the passing down.
Yeah, they got a free down here.
Well, it's fourth down.
Yeah, they had the third down marker up,
Yeah.
but it was really fourth down. So expect the run on this play. I don't think Malham will gamble again after the one drop.
if they've got something similar to the Rhino, then they would run that here.
Yeah.
But I guess everything they do is kind of similar to the Rhino, and have for years.
And you think about it though, just being a real power offense, but there is a lot of finesse that goes into it. If you watch those guards, those guys have got to be fast and
they're huge.
Yeah,
they are fast and big.
And even the center, sometimes will get around. So there is some agility that goes with this offense, and that's going to get them a first down.
Yep,
there.
Going to get to the 30-yard line. Clock will stop with 47 seconds to go. Boy, Wampus Cat defense really wants to keep them out of the end zone. Had a great first half. Coach Ashcraft yelling out for another player to get in, and he did. Clock runs, 45 seconds. Pass again. Pressure. Now he'll unload. Was that picked off? I think he got it.
Oh, my gosh.
That was a great interception.
Wow.
Devin Dooley with a huge play. Watch 15.
Unbelievable interception. I don't know how he got this.
He got in front of him and then put his hands between the ball and the turf. That was a fantastic defensive play.
And give the official credit for being there to be able to make that call, because if you're behind him, you call that incomplete. But he had a great view of it, and Dooley made the best interception we've seen this year by far.
Great play a few plays ago when he got in to knock the pass loose.
Dooley
and then that time was able to get the interception. Great couple of plays by Devin Dooley on that possession. Go back to Cox. 30 seconds to go in the first half. Maybe one more snap, and then we'll head to drier air here. At least the teams will. I think we'll probably stay where we are because it's dry in the booth. At least in our booth it is.
Some booths are not.
That's true, yeah. Some booths not as dry as others, but
raining that hard.
The Cabot team will head over to the old gym. That's where they dress, and the Wampus Cats, of course, will head to the field house where it'll be nice and dry, and it will be halftime here from John McConnell Stadium. Conway and Cabot, a classic rivalry in the state of Arkansas, and through the first half, it feels like those old games. Lots of running, quick first half, and the Cats lead 10-0. We'll take a 60-second break. We'll have halftime festivities for you. Those festivities tonight will include the Coach's Show that normally runs in the pregame. We'll have it for you at halftime. Then we'll have the stats that Scott Taylor has put together and have the third quarter for you coming up. Following the 60-second break on Conway Corporation, Channel 5 Sports.
Nobody saves you more than the giant Crane Buick GMC in Conway.
That's right, we're stacking them deep and selling them cheap. Shop a huge selection of new Buick and GMCs like the Sierra, Acadia, Terrain, Verano, and more, and keep your money in your pocket when you buy with 0 down, 0% financing, and pay 0 sales tax. Plus, Buick Veranos start for just $19,995. Come stack the zeros with 0 down, 0% financing, and 0 sales tax, only at the giant Crane Buick GMC exit 127 in Conway.
Hi, it's Jeff Matthews with something new for Wampus Cat football fans this year. It's a show called Breaking It Down. And while the crew breaks down everything, Jim Files and I will be breaking down the Wampus Cat football games each week, and we'll show that to you after the games air on Saturday mornings and then again on Monday nights. You can also catch it throughout the week at 9:30. That's Breaking It Down, where each week we'll look at the best plays and plays. Hi everybody, welcome to the Coach Clint Ashcraft Show. I'm Jeff Matthews, joined by Coach Ashcraft. We thank Crane Automotive Group for bringing you the Coach Ashcraft Show. And Coach, our main goal tonight is to play 4 quarters of football, I think, right?
Yeah, we need to get a game in before we start conference, that's for sure. I mean, you can practice all you want, but there's no simulating getting in shape like a game does for you.
And it's going to get in shape tonight with Cabot, which is the traditional rival, much like Bryant, but they bring a different type of ball that we may not see the whole rest of the year.
Well, and that's what makes them difficult. Especially offensively. you don't see that offense. You won't see it again the rest of the year. So it's real hard, really through Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday to get ready to see something like that.
What you're going through as a staff, the kids going through as players, as we're going through as broadcasters and fans, nobody's ever dealt with. This is 2 straight weeks of lightning-ending games. How anxious is your team to just play football?
Well, that's the deal. They want to play. We wanted to play the other night, and the coaches from Jonesboro wanted to play. But you had the ACT the next morning, and bringing them back on Saturday been another 2.5-hour bus trip, and it couldn't work out. But both teams wanted to play and needed to play.
Let's talk about the non-conference season. Bryant, Jonesboro. These are going to be 3 interesting tests, 3 very different teams, very good, talented teams. Yeah. What will you be able to do after this week? I guess you have to start looking forward, obviously, because everything is going to count with conference season. But do you feel like you've missed anything by not being able to play these first 2 complete games?
The main thing is just getting in shape. Yeah. I think the way we work practice and the tempo we have in practice is good, but like I said, there's nothing like a game to get you in shape. So if I said I wasn't a little concerned about that, I'd be lying.
What about injury-wise? Is that everybody in good shape? I know you've got a couple of guys that were hobbling around here in the field house Friday night.
Yeah, we've lost a couple of guys. Tanner Bloomhorse is actually having surgery on his knee this week.
Okay.
And Deron Brown has had surgery on his foot, possibility of a late return, but I think Tanner's probably going to be done for the year, and I hate that for him because he was doing a real good job.
Well, I know you guys are ready. We're anxious. If it rains, it rains. Let's leave the lightning away.
Let's just play.
That's right. All right. We'll have the kickoff for you. Conway and Cabot, traditional rivals, coming up next on Conway Corporation, Channel 5 Sports.
Nobody saves you more than the giant Crane Buick GMC in Conway.
That's right, we're stacking them deep and selling them cheap. Shop a huge selection of new Buick and GMCs like the Sierra, Acadia, Terrain, Verano, and more, and keep your money in your pocket when you buy with 0 down, 0% financing, and pay 0 sales tax. Plus, Buick Veranos start for just $19,995. Come stack the zeros with 0 down, 0% financing, and 0 sales tax, only at the giant Crane Buick GMC exit 127 in Conway.
Did you know you can access your Conway Corporation account from anywhere at any time? It's easy when you download the My Conway Corp app for your iPhone or iPad. View your bill, to nothing. Conway leads over Cabot. It's Jeff Matthews and Jim Files with you from another rainy Friday night. Fortunately, unless there's some lightning that moves into our area, we're going to get this game in, rain or not. We are hearing reports from some other places in central Arkansas, as close as Maumelle, where Little Rock Christian and CAC, they've pulled those kids off the field because of lightning, and so that game is not going to be played. Looks like we're going to get ours in, though. You've got to look at some of the first half stats that Scott Taylor's put together.
Did a great job of keeping up with
tonight, old school tonight, pen and paper.
Yeah. But on the scoreboard, that's the main thing that counts. Conway's got that big 10-0 lead. Other than that, it looks somewhat even. Cabot with 9 first downs, Conway with 8. So that's pretty close. But that's it's what you expect from Conway, from Cabot. They don't usually have the big play, and Conway has had enough of those to put them in the lead tonight. And 149 yards for Cabot on the night, 192 for Conway. Koch with 18 of those and a touchdown in that Rhino formation. Cox with 22. Still hasn't found that big play for him. You got to keep giving that guy the ball, though. He's going to break one soon. Anderson's been the big guy for Conway tonight. 150 yards in the game, 100 of that in the first period, Jeff. So big night for Anderson, and so far a big night for Conway. As we see the rain still coming down, not quite as hard, though. It'll see if that big play happens in this half, Jeff.
10-0. Conway has the lead. Again, this is a non-conference game. If you've followed Wampus Cat football for a while, you know Conway and Cabot have been conference rivals for a very long time. That's not the case any longer. This is non-conference. Everybody getting ready for conference season next week. Conway will begin the conference year by traveling up the interstate to Russellville, where we will have the game for you next week, Saturday morning and Monday night, then on live video or local video on demand. I guess it's not live on demand, or you'd be seeing it as it happened. All right, 11:53 to go. We are just underway in the third quarter. Cabot will get the football first. And we knew that this kind of surface didn't really bother them. They don't mind the rain, but so far the Conway defense has done a nice job.
They have, and you know, you looked at those. As we looked at those stats, they've given up 149 yards, so they bent some, but they did not break. They did catch a break when the tight end from Cabot dropped the ball that would have been a touchdown for them. But other than that, they have been pretty darn good.
Quarterback keep, and A.J. Burton rides him out of bounds. That is Kason Kimbrell, their quarterback.
And as we mentioned in the pregame too, this defense only returning one starter from last year. So this, a lot of these guys, this is their first taste of this dead tee offense, and something you don't see much. So you expect them to get better as the game goes along.
Second down and short. That's Carroll. He's the player for the Panthers who had such a huge week a week ago. Max Carroll, 160-pound senior. And he'll get to the 48-yard line. First and 10.
Carroll with only 3 yards in that first half, so very quiet. Yeah, after a big week last week.
Last week, 4 carries, only 4 carries, but 134 yards on 4 carries. A couple of touchdowns. First down and 10. Handoff. Edgar the carry across midfield. It'll be second down at the 49-yard line, just barely into Conway territory. Marcus Wright in on the stop.
Edgar with 49 yards in that first half, so he has been their workhorse tonight. Their most productive guy.
10:50 to go. We are just underway in the third quarter. Lanius that time. Zach Lanius on the carry.
39-yard line in Conway territory.
At the 39-yard line.
First down, Packers.
See the Wampus Cat defense there. It's been another draining night.
Well, and I sold Lanius short. He's been their big rusher of the night. 56 yards for him in that first half.
Quarterback keeper again. Kimbrell didn't do a whole lot in that first half, but this entire offense is built on options. It's going to be a quarterback keep. It will be a pitch. It will be a handoff to the fullback. First guy through, misdirection. They give that quarterback a tremendous amount of luxury as far as the decision-making goes, and a talented quarterback for them will make good choices.
Yeah, and they make the defense make a lot of choices too. And you've got to read if you're on that defense who's got the ball.
Second down and 2. Cabot's offense has had some success. They haven't put it in the end zone yet, but they have moved the ball. Pass play, incomplete. Looking for Carroll.
Boy, they have had that tonight. Again, another miss there.
The last 2 years, Conway has won big. 37-7 a year ago and 41-7 2 years ago. The last 2 years, Cabot's only put a touchdown on the board each night. Third down and 2. They'll give it to the fullback, and it looks like he's going to get enough as the pile moves to the 26-yard line, maybe the 27, but definitely enough to move the chains. Also pull the pad out or something as Lanius rushing off the field.
At the 27-yard line, first down.
Steady downpour earlier that was actually blowing into the booth turned into just rain, and now it's really just a mist, but it's a thick, heavy mist that you can hardly tell where it's not misting right now, if you will. At the 27-yard line, first and 10. 9:48 to go. We're in the third quarter.
And this has been a typical drive of the night for Cabot, having some success, and this is where Conway usually tightens up. They've got the turnover. They've gotten a drop in there. They may have to make another play here.
Well, it looked like they were. Well, it was odd. They pulled off the ball like they were going to call a timeout, but then there wasn't a timeout called. Personnel change for the Wampus Cats. Into the game is number 88, Carson Koch.
Quentin Day comes off the field for Conway.
1st and 10. Kimbrell will hand off to Edgar.
Kyle Edgar.
Across the 25, Kyle Edgar down to the 24-yard line.
Stop made by Justin Benson. Ball spotted at the 24, 2nd down, 7.
David Rodriguez. Cook, you see credit there. Marcus Wright. Fullback gets it that time. He's to the 20-yard line. Again, that's Rodriguez off the pile. Jarrell Credit. Kavasia Tate also. It will be 3rd down. 3rd down and 3.
Big down here for
You would
Conway.
assume this is probably
And 4 down territory.
4 downs, yeah.
You're right.
Got to make the 3rd down stop to make the 4th down stop, though. And it'll be 3rd and longer.
Yeah. False start there from Cabot. Good break there for Conway.
Again, this is a Cabot team that came in scoring 28 points in week 1 against Jacksonville and 28 in the first half a week ago against Catholic, so they could definitely put some points on the board. They have not been able to tonight. Showing some anxiousness there.
You watch some of those plays where, the only guy between the fullback from Cabot and the end zone was one safety from Conway.
That's
that
right.
Made a play. There were 2 or 3 plays that I can think of that were like that. So easily it could be
Fumble.
2 or 3 scores from Cabot.
What
I don't know
break
how
for
Conway missed
Cabot.
that.
My
Wow.
goodness.
It is 4th down, though.
And neither can Smith. Jackson Smith there, 18.
Yeah, look at it. It went right through his hands. And not an easy play. It looked easy from the press box, but I know that one's not easy on the ground.
Well, it is slippery out there. 4th and 9 now. Jackson Smith's had a really, really nice couple of games. We haven't only played a couple of games. 2 receivers to the left. 1 back behind Kimbrell.
Here's that pass played.
Pass is complete.
Oh, wow.
And into the end zone. On 4th and 9. Pass complete to Keith Pledger. 26-yard touchdown pass.
6 foot, 250 pounds. And the defenders just bounced off of him. And he was in double coverage there. They were converging on him from both sides. Nice throw. Put it right in between them. And Pledger just took it in.
250-pounder. What he gets to do after catches the touchdown, he's the end blocking there on the extra point. And the extra point makes it 10-7. With 7:31 to play in the 3rd quarter, we've got a 3-point game. It's 10-7. Conway leads. Conway Corporation, Channel 5 Sports.
This is my home. And here's my hot water heater, located right above my living room. And here's the mess it made when it leaked. Really leaked. Kinda throws off the ambiance, don't you think? Well, I stayed calm and called the experts at All Clean Restoration. So here it is, my living room before the water damage and my living room after. Or as I like to think, my living room before All Clean, my living room after All Clean. All Clean Restoration, proudly serving all of Arkansas.
Cabot coaching staff, they are pleased. Coach Mike Malham and the rest of his coaching staff got to be happy because, well, they're within 3 points now.
Yeah, they hadn't caught a break. They've been moving the ball pretty good tonight, but they hadn't got a break when they got in the red zone or, on Conway's side of the field. They got that break there, and it was big. On 4th down and long, they get a touchdown. And now all the momentum's on their side. Conway has to respond. But Conway gets that stop, and, it's a different game altogether.
return to the 27-yard line. It'll be 1st and 10. Brandon Cox brings it out to there.
Stop by Seth Hoggard.
Shifty Brandon Cox getting all he can out of that one.
27.
Good coverage by Cabot, keeping him in check. Cox in single coverage out to the left.
Cody Rhodes will throw. He hasn't thrown a lot tonight. Looking deep for Brandon Cox. That's why he'll play football at Arkansas State next year. Brandon Cox with a great catch, and Cody Rhodes threw it right where it had to be.
That may be his best throw of the year. That was a beautiful throw. You know, if he puts a little air on it, maybe, you know, Cox can keep going. But it was a nice throw and a great catch, and it is still raining. So that is a nice catch by Brandon Cox.
And a great play momentum-wise. After that touchdown by Cabot, it kind of put some momentum on their side. And now 2 plays in a row, Conway comes out throwing. That's complete also. Sidney Moore with the catch.
No completions for Conway in that first half. And it looks like Cody Rhodes has come out here ready to play. And the coaches, you know, they only let him throw it twice in that first half. They're going to open it up a little bit now.
An injured Panther over in front of their bench being checked out. You see Coach Mike Malham there standing, longtime coach of the Cabot Panthers, looking over one of the young men that he coaches. Now this, Coach Malham's program, much like what happens here now, these young men get into that program in the 7th grade. And so they look up to Malham like the king of Cabot.
Well, he is a legend, and deserves the respect. 251
51 wins now, after
he has won. That's incredible.
Came into this year needing 1 win. There was the replay that was showing the injury. They're going to take a minute here and check him out, and they're certainly taking their time with him, which they probably should. So why don't we let's take a timeout here. They've got a trainer who's running off the field, so we're going to have a little bit of a break. Let's go ahead and take a 60-second timeout, then we'll come back on Conway Corporation, Channel 5 Sports.
Nobody saves you more than the giant Crane Buick GMC in Conway.
That's right, we're stacking them deep and selling them cheap. Shop a huge selection of new Buick and GMCs like the Sierra, Acadia, Terrain, Verano, and more, and keep your money in your pocket when you buy with 0 down, 0% financing, and pay 0 sales tax. Plus, Buick Veranos start for just $19,995. Come stack the zeros with 0 down, 0% financing, and 0 sales tax, only at the giant Crane Buick GMC exit 127 in Conway.
Traditional light bulbs actually generate 9 times more heat than light. Switch to Energy Star light bulbs, and you'll realize just how much cash you were really burning through. Saving energy saves you money. Learn more at EnergySavers.gov.
They're still tending to the young man that's injured for the Panthers. Coach Malham standing over him. The team gathered near him on one knee. They pulled the Wampus Cats off to the side also. See one of the coaches tapping the young man on the chest there. They're bringing the EMTs out, and now they are bringing the stretcher.
Yeah. Certainly more serious than at first look. But you know, you don't see him, banging his hand or anything like that, and he's responding a little bit that we can see. So you hope they're just being precautionary and it's not as serious as it looks right now.
And they will our defensive players standing near the coaching staff on the sideline. Our players that are on the bench will they grab a knee, and now the players on defense doing the same, grabbing a knee out of respect for the injured Cabot Panther. Wampus Cats leading 10-7, and you do wonder what the injury is, if it may have been some sort of a leg injury or because at first it looked like they were holding his head still.
Yeah.
But it looked to me there was some
Lower,
movement. Yeah, like lower body.
Yeah, it did look like it was a lower body issue, knee or leg or something.
Again, our score 10-7. And next week we will be with you. We'll be with you from Russellville, Wampus Cats and the Cyclones. It's really been an interesting schedule, just because of the new conference games. The Wampus Cats have played some traditional rivals early. Bryant being week 1, Cabot being week 3, Russellville. There's really not a longer rivalry than Conway and Russellville. Those teams have played for generations, and they will renew that rivalry next week. It will be a conference game for the Wampus Cats. And then we'll be at Little Rock Hall, which has come back on our schedule.
Haven't seen them in a while.
No, and then the Hall football program is way down. They have got their 5th head football coach in 4 years.
Wow.
So
yeah,
do the math on that and realize that that's not a lot of stability there. And last we heard, they only had 23 players out for high school football. And that's the number that you normally see in some of the 2A schools or below, really small schools.
Yeah.
Hall is obviously not a small school, but when it comes to football, the interest just isn't there.
They have more kids go out for basketball.
Oh, absolutely they do.
Than that.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's a ridiculously low amount for football.
And they are a absolute powerhouse in basketball. I think last year they had 2, if not 3, Division I signees on their basketball program. But what we'll see in a couple of weeks for football just won't it shouldn't be much of a challenge, just simply because of the lack of athletes that are out. There's 7 minutes exactly to play in the third quarter. Let's go ahead and take another break, and when we come back, we'll have the continuation of the game. It's 10-7. Conway leads. 7 minutes to play in the third quarter. It's Conway Corporation, Channel 5 Sports.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God.
Hello, I'm Jim Counts, owner of Legacy Fencing. Summer is over and cooler weather has finally arrived. Now's the time to get busy on those home improvement projects that add both function and aesthetic appeal to your property while increasing its value. Whether it's simple as staining your existing wood fence or installing railing, we can provide a quality product, workmanship, and service that sets us apart from our competitors. Call us now and you'll see why our customers keep coming back. Legacy Fencing, it's fencing for a lifetime.
And welcome back to John McConnell Stadium. It's Jeff Matthews and Jim Files, the injured Cabot Panther. You can see that they are getting closer to getting him on the field. I was not able to see his number before the injury, and now they have removed his jersey, and it looks like they maybe do have an air cast on that leg, and so that doesn't look good. A lot of times whenever there is an injury like that, they know obviously pretty quickly if it's serious enough in nature, and so they were able to get him, get the leg stabilized there, and then get him on the stretcher to remove him from the field. A little bit of a delay here though at John McConnell Stadium. As you can see, the Cabot players doing some running to get loose and get ready to get back in the game. It's a game that they just trail by 3, 10-7.
Yeah, and your first concern is obviously the injured player, but back to football here.
Right.
It's these players have got to warm up. You see the Cabot players trying to get warmed back up, and I think this hurts Conway more than it does Cabot right now. Conway was moving the ball, no yards passing the ball in the first half, 46 yards on this drive here for Conway as they finally start airing it out. This is a rhythm offense, and they were in a rhythm. The question is what they come out here into, and it's usually hard to get that rhythm back. So, and it'll be an interesting call for the coaches too as to what they do. Anderson with 150 yards in that first half. Let's see if they give him the ball back.
Oh, that's tough to see. You saw that young man wiping his face, and I'm sure it was sweat and rain as much as anything. But I'm sure there's a tremendous amount of pain that goes along with what he's dealing with. And so our best to him, as they will take him to the hospital and check him out and get him ready. And while he is just at the 5-yard line,
Yeah, you see them waiting. They're waiting for
right. Now he's in the end zone. They,
Yeah.
of course, are taking their time, and they'll wait till he's completely off the field.
Yeah.
7 minutes exactly to play. Let's reset where we are in the game. 7 minutes exactly to play in the third quarter. Conway leads by 3. Cabot trails by 3, 10-7. And Conway was rolling before the injury, and they'll hand it off to Jeff Anderson, and I think he's going to get close to a first down.
Anderson, the ball carrier.
That's some good forward progress.
Tackle made by Matt Griffin.
Matt Griffin in with another stop, and it will be enough for a first down. So 1st and 10 for the Wampus Cats. They will move the chains. It was 6:41 to play in the third quarter. Cats back at it. Something else that's happened in the past few minutes is the rain has picked up again. What was just a steady mist is more of a
drizzle.
I'm no meteorologist, but that's the word I would use would be drizzle. Cody Rhodes stands up and throws.
Oh my goodness! Oh my goodness!
That
Wow.
is Brandon Cox with as good a catch as you will ever see.
Unbelievable one-handed grab by Brandon Cox. That was something to see. Watch it again.
And look at Rhodes standing up in the pocket.
I thought this was overthrown. Oh, and it's hard to get that camera over there quick enough. But believe me, unbelievable one-handed catch by Brandon Cox.
Out of bounds at the 14-yard line.
Another first down for Conway.
6.5 minutes to play. We are in the third quarter. Back to Anderson.
That's good.
He is into the end zone. Jeff Anderson scores from 14 yards out, and the Cats extend the lead and answer quickly on the Cabot touchdown.
Watch those guys up the middle. Wardlow came in there and gave a good block that sealed the inside. Anderson wouldn't touch till he was in the end zone. Great job of blocking up the middle there. What a great response to that Cabot score. And now Conway back up by 2.
Calling the hold.
Matt Cummins will kick the extra point, and it is perfect. Conway 17, Cabot 7. It's a 10-point lead for the Wampus Cats. We'll take a 30-second break and come back on Conway Corporation, Channel 5 Sports.
Separate raw meats from other foods by using different cutting boards. 3,000 Americans will die from food poisoning this year. Keep your family safer. Check your steps at foodsafety.gov.
Cabot coaching staff stunned. Just a minute ago, they had cut the lead to 3. It was 7:31 to play in the third quarter. They scored to make it 10-7, and now 6:26 to play in the third quarter. Just a minute and 5 seconds later of game time, and they find themselves down again by 10.
Well, and that's the first drive we've seen this year that combined balance. They passed the ball well, they ran the ball well, and that's a very encouraging sign. Brandon Cox, he was unbelievable, great catches, and he's Cody Rhodes' best friend right now because he made 2 catches that most guys cannot make. Uh-oh, some room out there.
A lot of room. Slowed him down some more, and got him tackled. But good field position for Cabot.
Cabot fired up. Jacob Ferguson with a great run. 5'10", 165-pound sophomore for Cabot.
At the 47-yard line of Conway, that's where Cabot's going to start. 6:16 to play in the third quarter. Rain coming down heavier. In fact, we saw quite a bit of the third quarter, or halftime in the third quarter, where most of the umbrellas had been put away. The rain is heavier now, and so they are back out in front of us.
Can't let up if you're Conway. Cabot won't.
To the 40-yard line. That is Lanius.
You just got to be real careful about overconfidence. As you mentioned, the seniors for Conway have never lost to Cabot, and they've destroyed them the 2 other times they've played them. But this is a much better team than we've seen the last 2 years from Cabot. And you just can't let up. You can't take them for granted.
Yeah, this is a Cabot team that only won 3 games a year ago, and that's just not the Cabot way.
And we've seen Kimbrell, the quarterback for Cabot, he can throw the ball pretty darn well. He's getting another chance here.
Pressure.
Yeah.
Good job by that defensive front. You had Jackson Smith there. He came from his
Atkins.
outside linebacker. Cortez Atkins coming in there. Cortez Akins. We got to meet Paul Revis's mom, who came up and told us the correct way to say his last name.
Feel free to go ahead and do
oh,
that
we love to be corrected. Oh, I prefer it. I want to get these right.
I don't want to get it wrong. Yeah.
What's another good run? That'll be enough for a first down. Cabot just never let, and you said it just a moment ago, they just don't let up. Kyle Edgar. It's enough for a first down. The 34-yard line is where they'll put the football down.
When you were talking about Malham and his 251 wins, he's only lost 110.
Well, that's amazing. Wow.
That's an impressive record. This guy knows how to coach.
Jackson Smith. I've been to a lot of rodeos in my day because I kind of come from that sort of background.
Yeah.
My dad's being a cowboy and all. That's what you call bulldogging in the rodeo world. Jackson Smith just held on and finally got him down. That was a nice run by Chris Henry and a great tackle by Jackson Smith. 5:10 to go. We are in the third quarter, 17-7.
Cabot again in the red zone. Conway's gotten a stop all but one time.
Down that right side. Good job. Boy, Jarrell Credit, I think, came flying in there. And Marcus Wright. Landon Hood also. Tate coming off the pile. Akins there. That's a good, solid defensive unit.
Yeah. Been very impressive this year.
2nd down and 7. Fans in front of us starting to holler for him. Edgar kicks it outside. Our guys are faster than him, but he's able to put the ball over the end line. Right inside the pylon from 9 yards out. And Cabot answers quickly.
It's turning into an offensive showcase here. This is just good speed. He outran some fast guys there from Conway. I think they were looking for him to cut it back up. They weren't sprinting to cut him off. Great drive there by Cabot. And their second in a row that has resulted in a touchdown.
Jesus Marquez to attempt the extra point. And his extra point makes it 17-14. Back to a 3-point game. We'll take a 30-second break and come back on Conway Corporation, Channel 5 Sports.
Nobody saves you more than the giant Crane Buick GMC in Conway.
That's right, we're stacking them deep and selling them cheap. Shop a huge selection of new Buick and GMCs like the Sierra, Acadia, Terrain, Verano, and more, and keep your money in your pocket when you buy with 0 down, 0% financing, and pay 0 sales tax. Plus, Buick Veranos start for just $19,995. Come stack the zeros with 0 down, 0% financing, and 0 sales tax only at the giant Crane Buick GMC exit 127 in Conway.
Conway coaching staff, they're working hard tonight against this team that there's only one team in the state that runs this, at least that you would see at this level, and that's the team in red and white out here. And they put a lot of work into this 1 week. And you do it because you never know what's going to happen in November and December where you might have to see them again.
Yeah.
And it's hard to prepare. So if you get a chance to play them once, that's a good thing. And they have seen all Cabot has had in this third quarter. It's been a good third quarter for the Panthers.
Yep, two consecutive scoring drives. And Conway with one response in between there. Let's see if they can get another one here to get that two-score lead back.
Pooch kick. Going to be taken.
Crawley with the
good
catch
job
there. Might get a fair caught that one, but he's tough. Took the hit.
Wampus got football, 1st down and 10.
Conway can respond, and if Cody Rhodes can continue his good night. Looking for number 3 over there, who's always open, Brandon Cox.
First down and 10. We go back to Anderson.
That guy's always
Man,
open.
Jeff
too.
Anderson's had a good night.
Yeah.
He is going to get close to 200 yards rushing, right?
Yeah.
He's on his way to that.
Yeah, I think he's there. I'll check with stats in just a minute.
Tackle was made by Jacob Ferguson. First down, Wampus Cats.
And again, a nice hole opened up by that offensive line. Well, and especially, play action pass. When you've got a threat of run like this.
There's a little T.J. Ruth.
Yep.
First time we've seen him tonight. Number 28. We learned a lot about him down in Bryant. He's able to get behind those big offensive linemen and is so quick.
Yep, smart runner, and like they all are for Conway, just the discipline. They follow their blocks, and when they get a chance to utilize their speed, they do that as well, and he certainly has a bunch of it. Conway having some trouble getting the play in here. Still plenty of time, 22 seconds on the play clock.
3:50 to play on the game clock in the third quarter. It was 10-0. Conway led at the half. Now it's 17-14. Conway rolling. Not much of a gain that time. Ruth on the left side picked up a yard or two running behind Koch and Boer.
And he was waiting for that hole to open up and never did. And they got him right when he got to the line of scrimmage. Still got a little gain. Ruth stays in.
Gave him 2, so second down and 8.
And Cox is not in single coverage anymore. He's got a little help over the top. Ooh.
Dangerous pass, and
Yeah.
you can hear the fans in front of us, catching their breath.
Yeah, you can see it materializing. Like, no, don't throw it.
Incomplete. Good angle on that from our
Tim
guys
Boyd
upstairs.
looking to catch his first ball of the night.
Cabot fans starting to make some noise over there. Third down and 8.
That's Sidney Moore over there, isn't it? Number 6.
It is. That's Moore.
Yeah, not number 5.
That's Anderson to the 35-yard line. It will be 4th and short. And there comes Spencer Moore in the game, number 77.
Yep.
When he comes in, Brandon Koch becomes your quarterback, and the Rhino is in effect.
Yep.
4th down and a yard.
Cody Rhodes goes out wide to the right, and no one's on him right now, but
Brandon Koch, they go down low to stop him, but he ought to be. It looks like he's close to the first. He's close to it, whether he got it or not.
I think
we'll
he
see.
got it, yeah.
Put the ball down and make it official, then we'll move the chains.
Carried out of the big cat formation.
Well, I tell you what, that's close, but I think he's got it.
Well, they're going to stretch the chains out. That's very close. Oftentimes you're able to. I don't know if the Conway coaches are thrilled with the spot.
No, they're not. And, Cabot did do a good job of getting in there and making a push and keeping him from making an easy first down, that's for sure. But Koch, with his strength, was able to get, I think, what he needed to get the first down. Let's see. Uh-oh. Officially, that is short.
That's a big stop.
That's why they missed him.
Yep, sure is. And now, and Coach is not happy with Brandon Koch, as there is going to be an unsportsmanlike penalty called on him. And I'll say it's Koch. I can't promise you that that's who the flag is on, but that looked to be where the official was looking when he threw it. It will be a penalty against the Wampus Cats, and that's going to give Cabot not only the football but also 15 additional yards.
And Conway is usually very disciplined. Under Ashcraft, they don't do that sort of thing, and that's why. I mean, Conway had the momentum, and that's a big enough play as it is that Cabot made it stop. But now they've got the field position and additional momentum. Got to maintain your poise. It's okay to be upset. Just don't let it cost your team.
2.5 minutes to play in the third quarter. Cats lead by 3, 17-14. Lanius, and he will get a couple of yards before a whole host of Wampus Cats gather him up and tackle him.
Lanius carried.
Looks like A.J. Burton and Rodriguez were there.
Stop is made by Marcus.
Left side doing a good job.
By Justin Vincent.
Those linebackers stepping up too. Good job by those guys. 2 minutes to play, third quarter. Right in front of us here.
Well, I'll tell you what, Heath Pledger, their right tackle, was just a bulldozer. He is opening up holes.
Gerald Credit at the Conway 43, third down, 2.
Minute 45 to play in the third quarter. Third down and a couple. That's going to be Edgar, and he will be real close.
Takes the football to the.
It's the thing that Cabot has done for years. They just kind of lull you to sleep.
Yeah.
You know, and it's, before you know it, they have it picked up, and now they've the Conway defensive line with a good stop there. So it's fourth down, 4th and 1.
See if Conway can return the favor. Cabot stopping Conway on the 4th down, and now with their own chance to return the favor.
Under a minute to play, third quarter. It's been a lot of offense here in the third quarter. Kimber will keep.
What a play.
What a play. My goodness.
Is that right, shooting up the middle?
That is 63.
Nope.
Look at that. He fought off the block. That is Tate.
Wow.
Evasion Tate.
Tate with a huge play. Maybe the play of the game. That was awesome.
And what a surprising call. After just pounding it forward all night long, they decide to kick it out where they've got to run even further to get that yard. And Tate made him play.
I'll tell you what, though, but if he gets by Tate, he's got the first down easy. And Tate just came from behind and threw him back. What a huge play.
Tate, a 5'9", 200-pound junior. That's a big, big play. Conway's got the ball back on offense, and see if they go deep. Nope, going to be handed off instead to Anderson, and he will make it back to the line of scrimmage. Second down.
2-yard gain to the 46, 2nd and 8.
Final 20 seconds of what's been a very entertaining third quarter. Mentioned earlier that there was a game in Maumelle, Little Rock Christian and CAC, that they canceled because of lightning. Just getting word it wasn't lightning, which makes sense because if lightning was there, we would see it here. But it's actually their field was flooded. There was so much rain and no drainage that they were not able to even get on the football field. We can play here. Drainage is working just fine here on this beautiful new field. And it's seen an entertaining 3 quarters of football. We've got a 4th quarter coming up next. We'll take 60 seconds and come back on Conway Corporation, Channel 5 Sports.
Hello, I'm Jim Counts, owner of Legacy Fencing. Summer is over and cooler weather has finally arrived. Now's the time to get busy on those home improvement projects that add both function and aesthetic appeal to your property while increasing its value. Whether it's simple as staining your existing wood fence or installing railing, we can provide a quality product, workmanship, and service that sets us apart from our competitors. Call us now and you'll see why our customers keep coming back. Legacy Fencing, it's fencing for a lifetime.
This is my home, and here's my hot water heater, located right above my living room. And here's the mess it made when it leaked. Really leaked. Kind of throws off the ambiance, don't you think? Well, I stayed calm and called the experts at All Clean Restoration, so here it is. My living room before the water damage, and my living room after. Or as I like to think, my living room before All Clean, my living room after All Clean. All Clean Restoration, proudly serving all of Arkansas.
17-14 as we begin the 4th quarter of play. Conway leads by 3. They've got it 2nd and 9. That's big Jeff Anderson. What a night Anderson's having. Across midfield to the 47-yard line. It'll be 3rd down and short. Rain falling heavy here as it has all night long at John McConnell Stadium. And the Cats up by 3, Jim.
Yep. having their struggles here. Cabot has brought their A game out in the second half. Conway has got to respond, and they have pretty well. Right now they're exchanging blows pretty equally. See who delivers the last or the hardest.
Anderson again, enough for the first down following that big offensive line. Talented group up front against a huge defensive line for Cabot. One of the bigger defensive lines they're going to play against. You imagine Russellville next week won't have nearly the size. Hall certainly won't. It'll be until we get to those Fort Smith schools in a few weeks before we'll see anybody with the size of Cabot.
Anderson with 187 yards. We said he was near 200. He is near 200, 187
what a night.
yards.
And he had a huge night against Bryant 2 weeks ago.
Conway with 60 yards passing in that third period. One of their best in our short season here so far. 50 yards rushing, 110 total. And Cabot with 26 yards passing and 96 yards rushing.
You see Brandon Cox carrying the ball down to the 38-yard line. Flag on the play. Going to call a hold against the Wampus Cats, so never mind all that.
Cabot with 122 yards in that third period out.
In the third period?
Yeah.
Wow.
Out rushing, out gaining Conway.
So with the hold, they'll back him up into Conway's own side of the field, back to the 46-yard line. Cabot players looking to their sideline, and there's a bunch of Cabot fans here, made the short drive over to sit in the rain and watch their team play tonight, making some noise, only trailing by 3. That's back to T.J. Ruth. He'll get back into Cabot territory, and he had really one guy to beat there.
You're right. Now watch this tackle. He gets through the line, gets past the linebackers, and then there's a little arm that grabs him right there. Otherwise, he's got another 10 yards at least.
10.5 minutes to play in the game. 3-point game. Both of these teams unbeaten. Conway 1-0, Cabot 2-0. Looking to go into the conference season with a perfect record. Ruth again. Well, he just takes those little bitty steps and starts moving fast before he gets to the line of scrimmage. Waiting for that hole to open up. It will be third down.
Yeah, that hole didn't open up that time. But when it does, it's fun to watch him shoot through it.
Third down and 9, Wampus Cats.
3rd and 9. Moore and Wyrick to the left. Cox to the near side. Anderson behind Cody Rhodes. What this formation does is it spreads them out a little bit. Anderson could hit a hole and run through it quickly. Instead, it's a pass play. Rhodes looking deep for Cox.
Got him.
Wow. He makes the catch, and he falls at the 2-yard line.
Unbelievable.
Cody Rhodes and Brandon Cox in the rain tonight. They have hooked up a couple of times, and it is 1st and goal, Wampus Cats.
That was a very hard catch by Brandon Cox, and he's making them all tonight. That, at full speed, he has to make that adjustment to stop his momentum from going to the left to make it go to the right, and that was a hard catch he made, and made it look fairly easy.
It is going to be the Rhino formation down to the 1-yard line. Once again, Brandon Cox verbally committed to play his college football at Arkansas State for Gus Malzahn, and it's plays just like that. I know we mentioned it earlier with that one-handed grab, but his ability to adjust, to look through whatever he's got to make his way through to make the catch of a ball that's, if it's just a little bit beyond him, he catches it and he scores. But he's not giving up on him. He's finding him. He's fighting through it. So continued impressive season so far for Brandon Cox. That's Brandon Koch. I'm looking through an umbrella, and I can't see what's happening.
Yeah.
Now they're on the monitor. Our camera guys don't have an umbrella in front of them, so I'll watch that instead.
Koch goes to the right side, met some contact. Looked like he was going to break free, but great pursuit by Cabot to get to him and bring him down.
They'll back it up actually to the 4-yard line, so it's 3rd and goal from the 4.
Koch with the score in the first period, but he hasn't had much success at all since then. Anderson has, though.
Yeah, he has. Yes, he has. Jeff Anderson into the end zone. Hit at the 5. Kicks it back out at the 7.
Yep. Wow, that's impressive.
Jeff Anderson scores from 4 yards out.
Anderson's huge night. continues his second score and is definitely near 200 yards now.
We'll name our player of the game at the end of the game tonight. We maybe can go ahead and name it now.
Well, I don't know. Between
that's
him
true.
and Cox.
Cox has had a big night, too. That's a good point.
That's tough.
Matt Cummins with the extra
We'll see.
point, and it is good, and the Cats extend the lead back to 10, 24-14. We'll take a 30-second break, and we're back on Conway Corporation, Channel 5 Sports.
Did you know you can access your Conway Corporation account from anywhere at any time? It's easy when you download the My Conway Corp app for your iPhone or iPad. View your bill,
Clean kitchen surfaces, utensils, and hands with soapy water. 1 in 6 Americans will get sick from food poisoning this year. Keep your family safer. Check your steps at foodsafety.gov.
Coach Clint Ashcraft got to be pleased with the effort tonight by all of his Wampus Cats. And Jeff Anderson has had a really special night tonight.
Yeah, 201 yards on the night, 2 touchdowns. That was a huge score there as Cabot was really stiffening up that defense. You know, Conway got the big play from Cox, but other than that, Cabot was really starting to shut them down. So that couldn't have come at a better time.
5-yard line. Bumped out of bounds by Devin Dooley. First down and 10 Panthers.
8:19 to play, a 2-score game. Cats are up by 10. They led 10-0 at halftime. Cabot scored to make it 10-7. A fluke play on a 4th down where they threw it over the middle to one of their big guys, 250-pounder that plays some offensive guard. It was eligible on that 4th down play, made the catch. 2 Wampus Cats bounced off of him and he scored. Cats came right back a minute later to score. Cabot came right back to make it a 3-point game again. And Conway just answering with Jeff Anderson's second touchdown of the night, a score that puts him over 200 yards rushing and 2 touchdowns tonight. 2nd down and 8 with 8 minutes to play in the game. Credit on the stop. Jarrell Credit. Very athletic young man. Hurdler on the track team. 7:50 to go. The clock runs. Cabot needs a couple of scores. They'll hand it off to the second guy through, and that's a huge play by Jarrell Credit. That was Max Carroll, and he's got good speed. That's one thing Cabot is not known for is their speed. But Max Carroll's got it, but Jarrell Credit was able to get him around the ankles and stop him. 3rd down and 6. Ball will be right inside the 30-yard line. You see where it's been placed there in front of Jarrell Credit. Also Carson Cook, number 88. 7:20 to play. 3rd down. Cabot can throw, will they? Quarterback keep, the option pitch. He will be run out of bounds or close to the sideline. It'll be 4th down. Burton and Smith over there. Marcus Wright also. Aikens in on it. And it will be 4th down and short. It's a 10-point game. 6:40 to play in the game. Cats up by 10. Big play for the Wampus Cat defense. They'll go right up the gut. Edgar with enough for the 1st down, so they'll move the chains. 1st and 10.
Kyle Edgar carried in the middle of the line.
One of our camera guys looked at the extended forecast for next week, and it was not funny, but they're calling for rain next Friday.
Big surprise.
Yeah.
We're playing on Friday night, right?
We are, yes. There's a,
So,
game, there's a game scheduled for Friday
you
night.
expect rain.
That's a good point. 6:25 to play in tonight's rain-soaked game. That's Henry on the far side. He has got nowhere to go. Great job. That's Marcus Wright. Williamson over there also.
Boy, Wright coming from the middle to make that play. Williamson over there. Great effort.
Yep. Clemens also. Good job by those guys. 2nd down and 9. 6 minutes to play in the ball game. What's a frustrated bunch of Wampus cats that they wanted to play last week so desperately. Weren't able to do it. They've come out tonight on a rainy night and played well. Incomplete pass, good pressure. Carson Cook getting through there. It'll be 3rd down and 9.
Nowhere to go there. Good coverage by Conway.
Incomplete. Third down 9.
You can assume this will be, again, 4-down territory, so they'll have a couple of them here.
Yeah. And that gives Cabot a lot of options, too. They don't just have to throw it right now. They can certainly run it.
They will send 2 guys to the near side. 1 back in the backfield. Option play. It's a pitch to that 1 back, and there's room, and he gets the 1st down. The he we're referring to is Zach Lanius.
Lanius with a lot of room out there, and a great job by the quarterback in getting that pitch out.
Yeah, just in time, too. Jarrell Credit was there and ready.
Yeah. It's a difficult job by Credit. And it looked like he had almost positioned himself in between the quarterback and the back, but somehow the quarterback got it out of there.
1st and 10 out at the 49-yard line. 5.5 minutes to play. Quick pass.
Ooh.
Almost intercepted.
Yeah.
Good job by Devin Dooley. Boy, Devin Dooley's played a good game tonight.
I think so, yeah. He's played a great game. Good coverage out there, breaking up a couple plays, and then, of course, the huge interception.
Yeah, that was a big play. We'll look back on that, and that they were in the process of scoring.
Yeah.
And at least trying to do something. At that point, it was 10-0. And you felt as if momentum could really have switched right before halftime, but that was a really nice play. 5:27 to play in the ball game. The Cats are leading by 10. There's that Statue of Liberty play that did not work as Carson Cook got through and made the stop. Number 88, getting punched there in the gut by Jarrell Credit.
Yeah, and that's just discipline by Cook, maintaining his position and keeping his eye out. That could have easily been a big play for Cabot that he put a stop on quickly.
3rd down and 10. Kimbrell will throw. Slings it out there. It's incomplete. 4th down upcoming.
Boy, Kimbrell looked pretty sharp at some points in this game. He's made some good throws, but the last couple have not been close. Fourth and long now. 4th and 10.
4:53 to play. Yeah, this is a big play. 4th and 10. If you can get a stop here, you can just
look for one of Malham's trick plays right here.
He'll send 2 guys to the right, ball in the near hash mark. It'll be a pass. Kimbrell, incomplete, and the Wampus Cats will take over on downs. And as long as they hold on to the football, this ought to be a win.
A pass in the Cabot offense is a trick play. So
that's a really good point.
I'll stick with my
Malik Clemens over there in coverage. Cat growl in the background of the sound effects here.
Yeah, and Kimbrell just his last several throws just weren't even close. Hasn't finished strong tonight for Cabot.
So 1st and 10. Anderson in the game behind Cody Rhodes. He'll get to add to his total.
Yep.
We'll add about 8 to it.
Anderson finally getting an opportunity to play 4 quarters, and he's showing us what he can do. And again, you got to give a lot of credit to those guys in front of him too that open those holes. They have had a big night as well. Offensively so far, I mean, it's been pretty good. We've gotten to see Cody Rhodes finally with a chance to open it up, and he's done well.
Yep.
We've seen Cox can still catch the ball.
Yes, he can.
Maybe better than anybody in the state.
That one-handed catch on the sideline here was unbelievable.
Yeah. All the 3 of them were just very, very impressive.
Back to Anderson. Inside the 35-yard line. Another big gain. Jeff Anderson.
And defensively, it wasn't as dominant, as the Bryant game so far. But, they did what they needed to do.
That's right.
Against the offense, you don't want to face, much, and you don't face much.
Well, they gave up the 2 touchdowns. The one was on a 4th and 9 play. There was a pass play, which, as you said, in this offense is a trick play.
Yeah.
And they threw it to one of their biggest guys, a 250-pounder. that a couple of the Conway guys bounced off each other and off him.
Yeah.
And so it was an odd-looking play, but it's been, for what has been just an awful conditions, just this annoying rain that's been falling tonight. TJ Ruth crossed the 30-yard line. It's been a good night. And I tell you the other thing that I think that needs to be mentioned here is that for what felt like a sloppy game at times, there really haven't been many turnovers.
No.
They've protected, both teams have really done a nice job protecting the football. There was the one interception, a couple of fumbles that you've recovered your own, but none that have been lost.
And that one interception was an amazing interception.
That's right.
You know. It was like one of Cox's catches.
Yes. Devin Dooley, the defender that we're talking about, that made the interception. Under 3 minutes to go, just moving the chains forward and keeping the clock running. Back to TJ Ruth. TJ Ruth into the secondary. Down to the fifth. TJ Ruth's not just running the clock down.
No.
Watch this hit. He'll lower his shoulder. Look at that. TJ Ruth in his 5'5", 151-pound frame just put his shoulder into a 6 foot, 166-pounder and knocked him down.
Over him. Ruth showing some power. We know he's got speed and quicks, but he's got some power to go along with that. And looks like Brandon Cox. The same kind of deal.
Yep.
Those guys, a little smaller, but you can't judge them by that. Powerful and fast.
Ruth, a senior, good to see him. He definitely contributed to this team and will continue to. He gets stacked up there at the 16-yard line. They were ready for him between the guards that time.
Koch couldn't have done much with that one.
No. Whistle, and they will stop the clock. Cabot wants to take their a timeout. It's not their final timeout, but they want to take one, and we'll take it with them. 2:14 to play in the game. Cats are up by 10. 30-second break on Conway Corporation, Channel 5 Sports.
Do you like hands inside of hands that are foam? Then I think you'll like football. Thursday night football.
Thursday night football. Thursday at 8 on NFL Network.
It's serious fun.
Thursday night football. Thursday at 8 on NFL Network.
Much our view tonight. That's a scene from the stands right in front of where we're sitting, and it has just been a sea of umbrellas all night long, and some wet stands that people have been sitting in tonight. But and we talked about it when we got here, and the rain really started about an hour before we got to the game, or before the game time kickoff, and I really did think it would affect the crowd, and it has to a degree. But there's still a bunch of fans that came out to finally get to watch a Conway Wampus Cat football game tonight.
And they have not been disappointed. I think a great night for Conway.
And TJ Ruth's going to get on the board.
Yeah.
TJ Ruth scores from 15 yards out. And it is another touchdown for the Wampus Cats. I don't know if he was touched.
Nope.
No, he wasn't touched till a teammate congratulated him.
But, and if you're a Conway fan, you got to be a little careful, and I know the coaches know this, and they got to tell the players this. But there's a couple plays in this game, the drop by Cabot, to the tight end in the end zone, and then a couple of breaks that have gone Conway's way. That if it went Cabot's way, this is a much closer game than the scoreboard looks like right now. Don't get overconfident. There's been some great pluses tonight, but you got to be careful about your intensity level next week against Russellville.
31-14 with 2:09 to play. We'll take a 30-second break, and we'll come back on Conway Corporation, Channel 5 Sports.
Nobody saves you more than the giant Crane Buick GMC in Conway.
That's right, we're stacking them deep and selling them cheap. Shop a huge selection of new Buick and GMCs like the Sierra, Acadia, Terrain, Verano, and more. And keep your money in your pocket when you buy with 0 down, 0% financing, and pay 0 sales tax. Plus, Buick Veranos start for just $19,995. Come stack the zeros with 0 down, 0% financing, and 0 sales tax only at the giant Crane Buick GMC exit 127 in Conway.
Some of the Wampus Cats there on the sidelines. 2:09 to play in the game, and Matt Cummins will kick off. Cats extending the lead out to 31-14. 15-yard touchdown run by senior running back TJ Ruth. And it is continuing a good night. And Jim making a very good point. He's next door talking to stats right now, getting some of the numbers. But, yeah, except for a couple of plays going the other way, this could very much be a game that could have ended very differently. Kickoff bounces down inside the 5-yard line. It'll be picked up there with 2 minutes to play. Henry will be taken down at the 27-yard line.
7-yard line.
Impressive drive again from Conway, and T.J. Ruth getting the bulk of the carries. You know, and like I said, he's one of those players, you know, you put in the category of Koch with that explosive ability.
Yep.
You keep giving him the ball, and he's going to break one, and he broke 2 of them there and got Conway the score. And put this game, if it was in question, certainly out of question. 2 minutes to go here for Conway.
31-14. A big run into the secondary of the Wampus Cats, and enough for a first down.
Lanius, the ball carrier.
Lanius.
Stop was made by Garrett Lovelady at the 41.
Lovelady on the stop. Minute 55 to go. The clock does stop with the first down. Both of these teams will enter conference play next week. Conway again on the road at Russellville, and we'll have the game for you. Hope you'll make plans to make the short trip up to Russellville. They have good burgers up there.
They do.
Eat somewhere, go watch the game. Always a fun road trip.
Yeah, and always a good turnout for Russellville.
And if somehow, some way, it could be nice next Friday night, well, that'd be even more worth it to go up and watch the team play on a dry Friday night.
Don't expect it.
No, not at all. Not at all.
And you know, Cabot still having success. You can see this is it's a pretty good Cabot team. They're going to win some games this year, and they've already got 2 of them, obviously.
Well, and the 7A, 6A East that they'll play their conference season in, a little bit down. There's some of the 6A schools from the eastern part of the state that they'll be matched up with conference-wise, and they should have a pretty nice conference year.
Oh, fumble.
There's one of the fumbles, but recovered by Cabot.
Kimball jumping on the ball.
Again, Conway and Russellville next week, and then Hall, and then back home here against Fort Smith Northside. 1 minute to play, and we will wrap up what's been a rainy night. We want to invite you to stick around following the broadcast of the game for our new show, Breaking It Down. We've only had a chance to do one of them so far, so we will do another episode of Breaking It Down following this game. In fact, stick around to get all the final stats. We'll do that in the course of Breaking It Down. So we invite you to stick around and watch that following this. If you're watching the game on demand, then you can also see Breaking It Down on demand. So
4 quarters of Breaking It
4
Down
quarters
highlights.
Absolutely.
You can't beat that.
And a lot to show you. Our buddy Matt Bloomfield downstairs in the truck, who's been putting all the replays together, and we'll have that for you, the direction of just our entire Channel 5 crew. I mean, we got some really great guys, and tonight especially.
Yeah, they've had challenges
yes, all 3 weeks there have been some challenges. And a unsportsmanlike conduct penalty there against the Wampus Cats. And you mentioned it. They're just losing a little bit of focus, I think.
Yep.
And, what you certainly don't want to do here is give up a cheap touchdown. The game's obviously been decided. Conway's going to win. Kimbrell will throw. Overthrow everybody. Almost intercepted. 35 seconds to play.
Hughes back there.
Second and 10.
Almost had a chance to pick that one off.
Jalen Hughes back there around the goal line. In our post-game comments, we will announce our player of the game. A couple of worthy candidates, of course, on the offensive side of the ball, and we'll make that announcement in our post-game remarks, and a run that may end up being a touchdown, and it sure will, as Zach Lanius scores from 28 yards out.
Lanius with a big night tonight for Cabot. Showing some good speed. And he took that one inside initially, then broke it out. Just use some speed to get around Conway.
And the extra point coming. Extra point. makes its way through, and it's back to the 10-point game where it was most of the second half. It's 31-21, 27 seconds to play. We will take a break and see how this one ends. 30 seconds, and we're back on Conway Corporation, Channel 5 Sports. Conway coaching staff just want to see these final 27 seconds to tick off the clock. It's a 10-point game right now. You imagine you'll see a onside kick here from Cabot. They'll try to do something.
Absolutely.
They're not giving up.
Maybe that little pooch kick.
Yep.
And Conway, Cabot doesn't give up. They keep trying. Conway has had the lead pretty much from the start tonight, but Cabot has been clawing back, getting it to within 3 at one point, and then threatening to take the lead on a drive. Here's your onside kick.
Good job by the
Great
special
job.
teams unit for the Wampus Cats. That's Bo Walter, who just jumped up and held onto it tight, and that's going to be it. The Wampus Cats will be able to put a knee down and run the clock out, and going to get a win and move to 2-0 in week 3 of the regular season. I know that seems strange.
Great job by Bo Walter there. And that's, those guys don't get to see a lot of balls like that. Of course, in practice they get them, but in real games, that's a big clutch play right there. Rain's still coming down.
Sure is. Cody Rhodes will put a knee down, and that's going to do it. Coach Ashcraft will take his team across the field. Coach Malham will bring his team across the fields. They will shake hands, and that'll be it. I'm not sure what Coach Malham is talking to the official about, because this one's over, but now they'll make their way and shake hands. Congratulations to the Wampus Cats. They improved to 2-0 on the season. Cabot falls to 2-1. Conway gets the win. Final score, Conway 31, Cabot 21. We'll take a 60-second break and come back and wrap this one up and get ready for breaking it down. 60-second break, and we're back on Conway Corporation, Channel 5 Sports.
Nobody saves you more than the giant Crane Buick GMC in Conway.
That's right, we're stacking them deep and selling them cheap. Shop a huge selection of new Buick and GMCs like the Sierra, Acadia, Terrain, Verano, and more, and keep your money in your pocket when you buy with 0 down, 0% financing, and pay 0 sales tax. Plus, Buick Veranos start for just $19,995. Come stack the zeros with 0 down, 0% financing, and 0 sales tax, only at the giant Crane Buick GMC exit 127 in Conway.
Hi, it's Jeff Matthews with something new for Wampus Cat football fans this year. It's a show called Breaking It Down. And while the crew breaks down everything, Jim Files and I will be breaking down the Wampus Cat football games each week, and we'll show that to you after the games air on Saturday mornings and then again on Monday nights. You can also catch it throughout the week at 9:30. That's Breaking It Down, where each week we'll look at the best plays and plays.
See the Conway players making their way over to the Conway student section. That student section, second to none in the state, and they were out making a lot of noise tonight in the rain. Final score, 31-21. Conway gets the win, and you've got to look at some of the stats. We'll have a complete look at the stats during breaking it down.
That's right. Yeah, Anderson, huge night, and I think you got to give him the player of the game.
Yeah, he's our player of the game.
231 yards for Anderson, 2 touchdowns, and just a huge night, and that offensive line, a huge night for them. Koch, as we mentioned, great night for him. A couple of 3 incredible grabs, and a good night finally to see Cody Rhodes get to open it up. So offensively, I think pretty darn good night. Defensively, it was good enough. I wouldn't call it great, but it was good enough. Those guys bent but they didn't break enough, and so you're happy to get out of here a win. And like we've said several times, Cabot's a team you don't face every week with that dead tee. So, hopefully that defense can get back on track next week against a Russellville team it's a little more similar to what we saw from Bryant and their incredible performance that the defense had against Bryant. We got to hope for that.
Again, the final score 31-21. Conway gets the win. Jeff Anderson, our player of the game, 230 yards plus rushing.
Yeah.
2 touchdowns. Unbelievable performance by the senior running back for the Wampus Cats. I want to thank Crane Automotive, Countryside Motors, All Clean, and Legacy Fence, who are all of our sponsors of Wampus Cat football, and we certainly do appreciate them for helping making these games possible. We invite you to stick around for Breaking It Down. We'll have that for you in a few minutes. And again, if you're watching the game on demand, you can also catch Breaking It Down, which is our highlight show of the Wampus Cats on demand. It'll be there available for you. For our entire Channel 5 crew, and I'm telling you, these folks, watch their names when they come by here because they are fantastically talented and patient, and we're lucky to have them here working at Conway Corporation. I'm Jeff Matthews, that's Jim Files, and Stat Scott Taylor did a great job with pen and paper tonight because the laptop didn't work like it was supposed to. We'll see you from Russellville on Conway Corporation, Channel 5 Sports.